Greetings. I am Professor Murali Nair. I am from Cleveland State University. By profession, I am a social worker. At this time, I co-direct the Center for Healing Across Cultures at this university, and also I am the director of the School of Social Work. And I teach a course online called Centenarians. And this particular segment, I was fortunate to be in the southern part of China 2 times. One almost 30 years ago, and again a few weeks ago I was in Hong Kong and Macau and interviewing some centenarians and also attending a world conference on centenarians. And I'll be sharing with you some of the highlights of my observations with these centenarians mainly in Hong Kong and in Macau. And we are all aware that China is one of the oldest civilized country in the world, and in terms of traditions. And that tradition is still very much there when you talk about the centenarians. The centenarians are people who are 100+ years old, and it is amazing to see what is the secret of their long life. I, being a social scientist, I would like to tell you that my observations and my assumptions and my conclusions are not based on the medical aspect of the centenarian and more of the lifestyle. Though there is a factor called genes or genetics which play the long life of people in general, my focus is mainly on looking at the day-to-day lifestyles of these centenarians. What is the secret of their long life? That is something I would like to share with you from these cohorts of few centenarians I had the fortune of interacting with. Let me start by looking at how do you determine a person is centenarian or not. In some countries like China, validating their age is a main factor. How do we do that? They may not have a birth record. In most of the time, they were not even born in a hospital setting like we are used to in this country. So basically talking to the centenarians' children or their grandchildren or even their great-great-grandchildren, and then look at some kind of an age factor. And let us assume that the centenarian gave birth to a child at the age of 16 or 17, then you can factor into looking at the age of the grandchild or great-grandchild. There are still some critics about that kind of estimating the age, but beyond looking at few years either way their age, it would be nice to know what is their secret of long life. And in this Chinese context, though they are now into the phase of westernizing, fast growing in terms of their lifestyle changes, and this particular cohorts I am looking at, they still got the oral tradition from their parents and great parents. What are some of the things they need to keep in mind in terms of looking at their day-to-day life? Some of the influencing factors are oral traditions from Confucianism to Taoism to Buddhism. These 3 were major religious institutions at one time or another existed in China. Even now there is a large segment of people in China follow these 3 traditions of Buddhism, Taoism and Confucianism. Along with, of course, there are so many other things. When I was sitting down with these centenarians in southern part of China, and in the common factor I am getting from them, I would like to summarize it for you. They all believe in harmony with nature. They respect the nature, and all the way from the sun rising in the morning to the moon, to the stars, and to the rain, and to the fire and water, and whatever it is, they respect all these nature elements in this universe. And also the Confucianism saying of old age is a time of blessing of wisdoms, and the old age is revered, and it is respected by the younger generation, and they bow in front of the elders, and they stand up when the elders come there, and that particular respect is very much there as part of the wisdom. They bring it with them when they get old, you know. So this tradition still very much part of these families, and especially among the centenarians. Let me try to again highlight some of the things I was able to observe from the centenarians, and I asked the question, what is the secret of being very healthy even at this age of 100 or 103 years old? And they invariably say that they still want to be physically active. And I did talk to some of them who were in a nursing home kind of a setting, and even there they don't like to be tied to their bed other than when they are ready to go to sleep. So what they do is, even when I went to their bed in the nursing home area, you could see that they have all kinds of things on their little room where they are sleeping, and in terms of keeping things like flowers and keeping the picture of their family and their friends, and paintings and little mementos or sentimental things, you know, which they had it for long time, you know. In one place when I went to a centenarian, and she was so proud to show the little present she got when she was in school way back, you know, from her elementary school teacher, and that teacher gave something as a present. It is a little kind of a toy made of a shell that carries so much pride, and then they keep talking about them, you know. So again, one of the secret of their long life, they are physically very active. Even if they are not telling me, I could see them. Even when I was talking to them for a few minutes, they still get restless. They want to walk around, you know. And one person in a little cane and said, let's start walking, let's start walking around, and then we will talk, you know. So you could see they are always, even if they are bedridden, they want to move their hand, and they want to show them their little movement they do in Tai Chi, and they laugh, and they express their different things in Chinese, and so you could see there, you know, physically they are very active all the time. And another thing, they were saying that they are always active mentally also, you know. And you could ask them, they will be singing their little songs, and when they're young, their parents were putting them to sleep by singing their little lullaby. Two, they could remember the birth dates of their children and their siblings, and they know the name, and they could take you through the historical movements in their life, you know. So that sharpness in their memory is something, you know, amazing to these healthy centenarians, you know. So the mental exercise, they still say that every day they chant, and they talk to people, and they bring back the memories to others, and that alertness to their mind is something is amazing to them, you know. And thirdly, what they eat, and they are always into eating not too much, and they want to limit what they consume. and they always have a tendency to eat more vegetables and fruits and nuts and grains, and you could see their dietary habits itself is something we need to be appreciating, and also they are very, very particular what time they eat their food, and they do not indulge in eating at all times, and they are very particular what time they eat, how much they eat, and also no one can force them to eat more things. Even if they like it, they make it a point of not to overeat. That's very much interesting. And so another thing is their socializing pattern, and they socialize with all age groups, and they always find something common in terms of talking to these different age groups. So that is something I noticed with this Chinese centenarians also, and they are very proud to show their great grandchildren who are just born, and they talk about and how they are looking forward to socializing with them when they grow. And another thing I noticed, they always set goals, and not only short-term goals and even long-term goals, and they always have something they need to do even at that age. When they get up in the morning, they said, yes, I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things before the day is over, and also they have something planned for tomorrow, day after tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. And even I asked them, aren't you 101 years old? And they said they are still young. So they are planning for 5 years from now, when their little great grandchild is ready to go to school. They want to be there the first day of the school. So that kind of ambition in their life, mentally they are already planning what they need to do short term and long term. So that is something very much part of their lifestyle. Another thing I noticed, they always believe in something beyond their control. It is not religiosity alone, it is something to do with spirituality, and they believe that there are something they don't have any control over. It could be a little illness they may have, or someone passed away in their family, a loved one, and they always find some kind of a solution to why someone is going through a miserable time, what is happening in this world. So that kind of an unknown entity they believe in is very much prevalent in most of the people I talk to. And finally I notice they always have a positive attitude to their life, and they always smile and they always laugh, and I yet to find a centenarian who looks grumpy or grouchy, or sad. They always bounce back even if they had a bad experience, and they do not talk about that all the time. So and I think that is something we can all learn from these Chinese centenarians also. You could see on my images I was able to capture, and these centenarians, they are always surrounded by their siblings or their loved ones, and or someone they like to associate with. And I think that the traditions very much is part of these particular centenarian groups, and I sincerely wish we could learn something from these particular groups and then utilize in our daily life as such. And I sincerely wish you enjoy some of this video and audio and still images I was able to capture during my visit to southern part of China. All the best. Thanks.